firstly, welcome to this webinar. I'm presenting here from Kerv. My name's Mandeep Padam. I'm the NFP Solutions lead here at Kerv for non-for-profits. I've been working with Microsoft Dynamics in its various forms for about 16 years. So I remember it right from the beginning, from version 1.2 through to the big platform it is now with Dataverse and the Power Platform and that kind of thing. I work at Kerv with one of my colleagues who's also on the call here, who's Oliver Contis. I'm pretty sure some of you get to know him throughout the course of today and in time as well. So I'm just going to kind of move across to the next slide, and a little bit about Kerv Digital. So Kerv Digital is a UK trusted partner, and what we can do is we deliver a wide range of transformation programs based upon the Microsoft stack. So we kind of work with a lot of sectors, and the non-for-profits are one of those sectors. We've kind of got a lot of referenceability in those sectors. We kind of range from all kinds of scales of projects. Can't see it. I'm just taking a look. I'm just trying to keep saying. Oh, can you see it now?
We can see the home screen. We can see the slides with your
logos on there. Okay, cool. So as I mentioned, we kind of work with a wide variety of charities. To put it in context, the non-profit sector kind of makes up for about 50% of our business. So we do a lot in other sectors as well, such as the UK public sector, with central government, transport, we do commercials, but non-for-profit kind of consumes about half of what we do. And as you can see with the kind of logos on the screen, we work with a wide variety of charities doing a lot of different types of transformation programs. So some of those kind of involves kind of smaller charities who want to go kind of out the box and want to be up and running quite quickly, to the big transformation ones, such as Crisis and Water Aid, with Water Aid being kind of one of the biggest ones that has ever been done. And also things like English Heritage, where they wanted to integrate into their membership system, their till system, retail, and that kind of stuff as well. So we work with a lot of charities. I'm going to switch the slide now, so let me know if you can see the next slide, which is the Cloud for Nonprofit slide.
It's moving perfectly, Mandeep. You're all
perfectly good. Nice. Okay. So one of the things here at Kerv we wanted to do was kind of line ourselves up a lot closer with Microsoft. And the reason is we kind of partners with Microsoft. And what we want to do is we want their vision to marry with our vision beautifully and provide that landscape for non-for-profits. And at the heart of that was something called Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit. Now, we've aligned ourselves up very, very closely with this. And as you get to see kind of over the next sort of couple of hours, if you come into breakout session 2, we've kind of built accelerators which are fully compatible with Cloud for Nonprofit. So it does things like direct debits, it does gift aid, etc. On top of that. So what is Cloud for Nonprofit? On the slide, it's a pre-built Microsoft accelerator. That's kind of true, but also kind of not true. Where it's not true is it's more than an accelerator. It's a comprehensive product now, which kind of brings together CRM, brings together Azure business processes, and puts them together in a repeatable way, which allows us to install it on day one and have a good head start. It's been pre-configured, pre-tested in a contextualized way, which works really, really well for nonprofits. And it's something that as a charity you can go, as long as you've got a sales enterprise license, you can install it. So in regards to what is the cost, there's a couple of costs here. You'll need sales enterprise licenses, and you'll also need to run Cloud for Nonprofit in Azure. Like anything else with Azure, what you'll have to do is pay the consumption charges. So the more you chew up in Azure, the more it'll cost you. If your processing is smaller, it'll be a lot cheaper than the huge multi-million record processes that a lot of people have. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it kind of brings together the capabilities of Microsoft 365, the Power Platform, Azure, LinkedIn. And what it does is it looks to address common nonprofit scenarios. And what we've done here at Kerv is we've used that as a base, and then we've applied accelerators on top of that, which we give away on a royalty-free license. So we've developed those the ones, so that instead of constantly keeping developing those, our strategy was, let's develop it the ones, let's give those away, and it's us doing good to that sector. And you are free to take those accelerators on. They're fully configurable. You can configure those without being locked into Kerv at any point in time. And again, as I mentioned earlier, the Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit is something which kind of sits on top of Dynamics 365. So as you'll see shortly, you will log on and it will look like a CRM system. It will look and feel like Dynamics 365, but what you've got is an accelerated approach with a pre-built product that Microsoft have built as a base, and we've kind of built on top of that as well. Okay. So in regards to what you'll see, so what you'll kind of see today is you'll get to see Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit. And what we'll do is we'll focus in on the kind of high value giving scenario. So in this session, what I want to do is I kind of want to bring in a couple of elements of this. I want to kind of start off with the supporter, and I'll show you exactly what that supporter record looks like out of the box, what Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit has given you as an accelerator. And I'll also give you a little bit of a glimpse as to what the future may look like. And what I mean by that is some of the customization and the configuration that I've done to give you that enhanced, unique feeling as well. And what we'll do is we'll explore that 360 view around major donors. We'll leverage some AI to personalize some emails and some automated journeys that you could use. And I'll also go into Cloud for Nonprofit and how you can quickly use the out the box to get up and running with your high value giving. Okay. So with that, probably my favorite slide of them all, it's demo time at the moment. So what I'll do is I'm going to now share my screen. And before I do that, I'm going to introduce you to a couple of personas and the journeys we're going to have a look at. So in regards to personas, let me introduce you to somebody called Dave. Dave Parker is our recent major donor. He's a member of a charity called Adventure Seekers UK, and has recently provided a major gift, within the last 12 years. He's also donated on a regular basis to the charity, and he's a key supporter and a key stakeholder in what we're trying to do. And what we've also got is a chap called Alan Steiner. Alan Steiner kind of works in the digital marketing piece of your charity, and he's responsible for kind of launching engaging campaigns, converting new graduates to moving through that engagement or new supporters through that high value giving piece. Okay. In terms of a journey, what we're going to see today is Alan works in your digital marketing team, or he could be working in your supporter care team. But what Alan's going to do is Alan's going to create a new event where we are going to be inviting major donors to a dinner at the charity. We're going to create ourselves a segment for major donors from within the Dynamics marketing application, and we're going to send an email which has been personalized to those major donors. Okay. And the way we're going to do that is Alan's going to create an email template, which is going to be sent out to all contacts who are major donors. Dave, who is our major donor, who's our supporter, is going to receive that email. He's going to click on the registration page, and he's going to register for attendance to that event. And upon registering for that event, we're going to create something called an opportunity record, which will act as your prospect record, along with an email confirmation, which is going to be sent back out to Dave. And then what's going to happen is the opportunity is going to be passed to somebody called Jenny, who works in the major donor fundraising team. Okay. Now, Jenny is another person I'm going to introduce to you. Jenny works in the major donor team, and she's a member. She's a major donor manager, and she's a member of our charity. And what Jenny's going to do is she's going to be working on that opportunity, and she's going to be nurturing that opportunity through its various stages before getting a commitment from that, creating an agreement, and then working out how that income is going to be processed through. Okay. So with that, I'm gonna start by sharing my screen. So just bear with me. Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen. Yeah, you should be able to see what looks like a CRM system.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, excellent, cool. So I'm just going to zoom in slightly. Just going to zoom in slightly so it's a bit easier to read. So Microsoft Dynamics 365 is an online Dynamics CRM platform. You can access this system from anywhere in the world. Yeah, as long as you've got a web browser and as long as you've got an internet connection. So you can access it from the office, you can access it, working from home, or you can access it, on the bus on the way to work, that kind of thing. Yeah. And what Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit is, it's a product which fits inside of Microsoft Dynamics. Okay, so what you've got is the look and feel of a dynamic system, just like this. Yeah. Now I won't go into the dynamic system too much. We'll drill down into kind of the cloud for nonprofit areas. But what you've got is you've got your navigation on the left hand side. So if I scroll to the left hand side, I've got a fully configurable navigation bar. And as you can see, Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit has pre-configured some of the terminology for you. So you've got records such as appeals in there. If I was to switch on the fundraising piece and I click on gifts, what you'll also have is you'll have transactions in there, you'll have donor commitment records, payment schedules, and you've also got back-end processing such as income processing. If you wanted to set up credit card providers, you've got credit card providers, that kind of thing as well. So it's been pre-configured for you. And what we've done is we've kind of, here at Kerv, we've kind of accelerated that even further via our accelerators that we give you. Okay. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with a record. Before I start with the record, what I'll do is I'll click on dashboards. Now, out the box, Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit gives you a suite of dashboards. Now, those dashboards are kind of built in Dynamics and they're fully interactive. What you might want to do is you might want even more enhanced dashboards or even more deeper analytics, and you do that via Power BI. Now, some of the dashboards include fundraising overview. So in this scenario, you can see your active income coming in via month. You can also see your campaign performance metrics as well. You can also see your gifts and how those gifts are being processed. So as we can see in my system, cash seems to be the most popular method of giving. You've also got gift via years, and you can also break these down into gifts via campaigns, gift via payment providers, that kind of thing as well. What we've also got is you've got development overview dashboards. Now, this controls the kind of major donor pipeline, in particular where Jenny from our persona or from our slides was going to be working on. Now, as you can see here, I can see all the major donor gifts more than $10,000, fully configurable dashboards, or you can build your own as well. They're really nice and simple to build. We can see gifts by designation. Now, what designation is, it's the restricted or the non-restricted codes that you're coding the income against. We can also see donations or opportunities which are being managed by certain relationship managers. And if I scroll a bit further down, we've also got graphics for these various stages that an opportunity might be. So the stages of the funnel or the stages of the pipeline, if you were. Okay, so you get these dashboards out of the box, you load your data into those. If you want to tweak those dashboards, they're really nice and easy to configure. So far, what you're seeing there is no code, it's all out of the box. Okay, now what I'm going to do as a starter, I'm gonna introduce you to Dave Parker. Now, Dave Parker, as I mentioned earlier, is our supporter. Now, out of the box, you get this data entry screen. So what you can see is you can see various demographics on there, Dave's name, it controls his salutation, what company he belongs to. You've also got things like giving levels, and these giving levels you can automate. So for example, you can have certain giving levels which constitute various bands of giving. And you can have automation such that when Dave moves through bands, you mark his record with that giving level. And what that will give you is really, really nice metrics for targeted segmentation based upon giving level. Okay. You've also got a membership feature, and you've got various other options on here as well, such as his communication options. You've got various social media options. One of the things Microsoft gives you out of the box, as long as you've got a sales enterprise license, is LinkedIn integration as well. I've not got it plugged in on this system, but what it will let you do is it will let you browse Dave's record in LinkedIn. It will let you message Dave straight out of Dynamics through LinkedIn, that kind of thing as well. So it's all a ecosystem that integrates beautifully together as one platform. What you've also got is on the right hand side, you've got things like supporting objectives. So you can set up your own objectives and assign those to your supporter records. So in this scenario, Dave is interested in Scottish adventures and researching on wildlife, and you can have parent objectives linked to those, and you can report off those and so forth. Down the middle here is a key part of Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit. Now, what this is called is the supporter snapshot or the contact snapshot. And what it gives you is it gives you a 360 view in summary of your supporters activity. So in this scenario, does Dave have any recurring gifts? What was the last gift amount? What was his lifetime giving total? Has he influenced anything? So think of policy and campaigning. Influenced being is he influencing somebody to make a gift? This could be a celebrity influencing somebody else to make a gift, and you soft credit back the other way. Yeah. You can also group supporters together as households, just like I've done here, and you can break the households down by individual members. Okay. Now it's a really, really nice feature. Yeah, and you get it out the box. It's all wired in, it's up and running. You don't have to do anything. It's part of the form, and you just stick it on the form and it's up and running. Now, one of the things that I have done is just to show you kind of like harnessing the power of the Power Platform. If I click on the Kerv version of this form, as I mentioned earlier, it's a fully configurable piece. So what I've got is I've kind of got various options along here. So I've got, primary constituent type. So in this scenario, we're going to mark Dave as being a major donor. Okay. You've also got the source code or the source campaign that Dave was acquired under. And you've got various other options on here, such as health considerations, and you've also got whether Dave is deceased or not. Now, on this deceased record, just to show you that low code, no code nature of form behavior, if I was to select Dave as being deceased, what you'll notice is it's now showing fields based upon the type of information you have for a deceased person, such as the deceased notification date and the date of death as well. And along the top, those who get to know me, I love emojis. There's a little emoji here of a little dove icon. So you've got a visual indicator. So as soon as you open up the screen, you can actually see that Dave is deceased, and you can use that indicator or that flag to target, segment Dave off your mailings and that kind of thing. Yeah, I won't go into every single field on there. I've also got.
Mandeep, can I just ask a quick question, if okay?
Yes, please.
I know because you're deep in the demo, you're unlikely to see the chat nor have the ability to concentrate on it in any case. There are a couple of questions which may be able to answer, or maybe we'll have to take offline. First question is, will e-marketing mail end up in the other or junk box, as with most other CRM mailing? I don't know if that makes sense, because I know the attendee will be able to come off mute.
Yeah, so with that, what you've got is, as I'm going to show you shortly, the emails that I'm going to be sending out are going to be sent out through the Microsoft marketing platform called Customer Insights. And what Insights lets you do is it lets you do things like spam tracking and things like that. So you can actually test and check your emails before you send them out, and that will give you a good indicator with reason as to whether they'll end up in somebody's junk or other mail as well. And you can really reduce the risk of that. Yeah.
Thank you. And just a second question. Somebody newer to the Microsoft stack, is the accelerator a general term for a package built on Power Platform, or is it more specific? Because I know you talked about the general accelerator, but then you have your own ability to build on top of that as Kerv. So maybe just clarify that for the audience if you can.
Yeah, so what Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit is, it's a pre-built. We use the word accelerator loosely. It's a lot more than an accelerator. It brings together a CRM, pre-built Azure functions, pre-built M365 functions together into a as you mentioned, into a package that you install into your environment. And what that then gives you is the NFP experience within CRM. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Cool. So just Coming back to my demo, I've also got other demographics on here, such as kind of supporter types. So there may be more than one supporter type with start and end dates on there. If you're working on things like initiative strength, you could define how you acquired this person to be a volunteer and what the strength of that volunteering was. So if somebody was a weaker strength and you wanted to up their strength of volunteering, you could target out to them, that kind of thing. And the other thing I also want to note is at the moment I'm using no code. And what that means is you can quite quickly build experiences and functionality within your CRM system using the Microsoft Vision. And what I've done is I've kind of taken this kind of supporter snapshot here, and I've used something called a Canvas app to create like an iPhone type app. It's really simple to create. It's drag and drop. You can use Copilot using natural language, as Justin mentioned earlier, using the power of the English language to actually create these apps. And I've created myself a Donor 360 app. So if I click on that app, I've embedded this app into my CRM screen. And what I've given it is a more visualized look and feel of a 360 view that you may want to enhance that supporter snapshot. Now, no offense to Dave and the team, I really like that supporter snapshot, but I think visually, yeah, blow my own trumpet, mine looks visually a lot clearer to read, and it's fully configurable. A lot of people, they start with this, they don't quite know how to build this out, and when they find out how easy it is to build apps like these, they're going off and they're building their own apps. That you can embed those apps in here. You can build apps of data entry such as volunteer registrations, event registrations, QR scanning, that kind of stuff. And what you can also do is you can bind data from more than one source. So think of Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit and your CRM system as being the heartbeat of your system. That's going to give you that 360 view. However, the data may live in various places. It could live in your data platform. It could live in Outlook. It could live in Insights. It could live in Just Giving. And I've created another Power App or another Canvas app, which is the Contact 360 view, which kind of brings it together in a more richer way. So I can see various demographics on there. I can see, you know, supporter information. I've also got calculated fields, which works out engagement scoring. I've got insight information on there. I've got my timeline on there with interest. I can also see what they opted in for, that kind of stuff. And the beauty of this Canvas app is it's built in exactly the same way as I've previously showed you on the Donor 360 view. But in this particular one, what it has done is it has brought in and rendered on the screen for you data from multiple sources. In this scenario, there's also a couple of spreadsheets behind the scenes which is feeding into this. And it's a really, really nice, if you think of, your users, they want to open up Dave's record and they may want to see all of the information for Dave in a really simplistic way on the screen in one place. And that's what this lets you do. Okay. Now with that, I'm going to switch over. I'm still in the same environment and I'm going to switch over to our marketing application, or something that Microsoft called customer insights, journeys and data. We're going to focus on the journey side for now. And we're now going to be, working as Alan, and Alan was our digital marketing officer. Now, one of the things Alan's going to be doing is working with the digital marketing platform, and that's what customer insight journeys is. And the first thing Alan's going to be doing is creating himself a segment. And what segments let you do is create target audience lists based upon their data that you have in CRM, and also based upon the behavior that they're having with you in regards to that marketing. So for example, you may want, give me a list of people who live in the Midlands, just like I do, and who have clicked on certain emails or have opened other emails, who have registered via forms on our website. All of that is behavioral data that you may also use to build a segment. Okay. Now I'm going to click on the new segment screen, and I'm going to create a very, very simple segment just to show you how easy it is. Okay, when it finally loads up, and you can use behavioral data, you can use insight data, customer insights behind the scenes of this lets you create things like measures. So it lets you create things like total lifetime fields and last donation fields and feed those into your segments as well. In this scenario, I'm going to create myself a segment called Adventure Seekers UK, major donors. I'm going to target the contact, and I'm going to hit create. And if I wanted to, I could use something like natural language copilot to just put in there, a couple of sentences of what I want to build. And in this scenario, I'm going to scroll down on the right hand side. I'm going to use my contact record, but you can use other records as well. And you can use custom records, which a lot of marketing platforms don't let you do, but Insights lets you do it because it's so native to Dynamics. And if I scroll down here, I'm going to look for I think it was called the primary constituent field, or constituent type. I'm going to select that, and it's now giving me a query builder where I can go give me a list of people or build me a segment where the primary constituent type is equal to donor and so forth. And I can use that. And what this will then do is it will go and it will build me that targeted audience list. Okay. So if you give it a few minutes, it's just setting it up for us now. Okay, and if I click on members and insights, it will give me a list. It's just one member in there, Dave Parker. Yeah, so it's as easy to do as that, and you can build them really complex. You can use Insights, which is the data platform that you get with customer journeys, to build some of these segments. And it's an area which Microsoft are investing in a lot more. And in regards to modern data platforms, they're closely now married to things like customer insights. Okay, so we've got ourselves a segment. And what we're now going to do is very, very quickly, I'm going to show you kind of like creating an event. Now, if I click on events, Customer Insights also lets you work with events. It's there, it's out the box. Okay. And what we're going to do in regards to events is I've already got a pre-built event called Major Donor, the Major Donors Dinner. I'm going to go into that event, and it gives you some various demographics. So it's really, really nice. It's fully integrated with things like Teams. So if you wanted to stream this event in the exact way Microsoft have done here, for all we know, Microsoft could have used their own customer insights module here to set up the webinar that we're working on right now. And you can stream the event. You can put demographics on there, event type, event details, start and end dates. You've got agendas where you can have sessions and you can have session tracks, that kind of thing. And one of the things Microsoft has recently provided in the recent wave release is a events calendar, where you can actually have a calendar and see your upcoming events based upon this data. What you can also do is integrate this event to your website. So if you've got a website somewhere, you can host this event on the website. And you've got various registration details. So if I was to click on this, I've got Dave Parker here as my registrant to my event. Dave would fill out a form and it will submit that registration record into Dynamics. And one of the things you can also do when you set up events is you can set up things like, if I go back out here, you can set up custom event registration fields. So if there was something quirky you wanted to ask your supporters, instead of creating fields in Dynamics, you can create yourself a custom event registration field. Yeah, you've got the, at the moment, I don't know if I've got many here, we can, for example, do you have any dietary requirements, what order it comes at, save and close. And when you publish this event form onto your website or via Power Pages, it will ask for that particular piece of information from that registrant. So for example, okay, I've got a bit of a event portal set up here. And if I was to click on the home page, I've got all of these events. Okay, if I was to click on the Adventure Seekers Major Donor Dinner, I can configure the event with my own images. This is hosted in Power Pages. That events module is natively integrated with it, so you don't have to fiddle about with forms. And if I click on register now, what the system will do is give me a registration page where Dave is targeted out as a major donor. We want to invite him to our dinner. He gets this form, he can log into this website, and he can then request the information and create yourself a registration record. So it's really, really nice functionality. But before we get Dave to our event, we've got to kind of communicate out to Dave. And the way we do that is by creating what we call an email template. Yeah, so very, very similar to the kind of templates you've previously used. And you've got a really nice template builder here. So if I was to scroll a little bit further down, if I can find my template. Click on it. There we go. If I was to find my template, okay, I've got a draft template here called Kerv Digital High Value Major Donor Dinner. And if I was to click on that, it gives me a really, really nice editor, which lets me go and create the templates from within the context of Dynamics. So this isn't like third-party platforms where you have to register on the outside. You've got to log in on the outside, log into that platform, create your email campaigns in that platform. Dynamics marketing lets you do it all internally, and you can do things like put QR codes on there if I wanted to. I can put personalization on there. So if I was to click in this area here, I can add personalization, which is my mail merge tags. I can put images on there. I've got A/B testing on there, so you can test the type of emails, what works, what doesn't work, that kind of thing. And the really neat thing is it's fully integrated with the Microsoft AI stack. So if you're a little bit like me and you kind of sit there and you kind of wonder, I've kind of got a bit of writer's block here. How do I, in a really, really nice way, invite somebody to my event, which kind of hits the point? What you can use is you can use Copilot. So if I was to click on the Copilot icon, which is now embedded within, so you'd need one of the enterprise licenses, and then I think it's £29, the Copilot license on top. What you can do is using natural language. It's just in mention, the most powerful programming language is the English language. I can create a key point, and from the key point, I can ask, so create me a short invitation, a short funny invitation to our event. Okay, I can decide what type of tone I want. So this could be adventurous. And if I click on generate ideas, what Copilot will do is it will go away and it will use things like ChatGPT, and it will work out suggested content for me. So I don't even have to write the email anymore. I just tell the Copilot what type of content I want. And in this scenario, it's giving me several options. I can add this to my draft. I can say it was good, it was not good, give it positive, negative responses, that kind of thing. And once we've got our email ready, we can then send the email out. So that's a really, really nice feature. It's using AI at its chorus point, yeah, and it's letting us build this. Now you can build a whole email template using Copilot. You can use Copilot to build Canvas apps, so similar to the apps you saw previously. You can even use Copilot to build you a whole portal if you wanted to. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we've got our event, we've got our we've got our email, and what we're now going to do is we're going to send this email out to Dave. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to create ourselves something called a customer journey. A journey is a campaign program that you use to actually map out a path for your supporter. So by clicking on new journey, it's really, really nice and easy to use. So it's giving you some ideas here, or I could describe to it what I want. So in this scenario, it's kind of given me, based upon my recent engagement with the system, it's kind of gone, when a contact registers for a marketing event, send them a reminder email if they don't check in. And if I was to click on that, what the system will do is behind the scenes, it will build me that journey without me having to physically build the journey, even though building the journey is fairly straightforward. I need to select a trigger being how they enter that journey, and you can create your own triggers. So in this scenario, when a marketing registration has been created, we can then say our major donors dinner, click on submit. And what the system has now done, it has built me the shell of that journey. And I can use Copilot to enhance on that, or I can build it or continue and building it from here. And I've got a really, really simple journey that I've built just to show you how it kind of works. Click on journeys. Okay, so I've got a journey here, which is my Adventure Seeker Major Donor event. If I was to click on that, really, really simple. It was the journey starts. I'm just going to send them out the email that you previously saw to that particular segment. Okay, so I created the segment. Anybody in the segment, send me out this email. And what you'll see is similar to this, that email being sent through. Okay, So that's how you would engage to those. And what you can do is these journeys can be really, really complicated, and they can be really, really engaging and enriched. I was working with a charity recently where they've got drop-in centers, and you can create custom triggers. And what their trigger was dynamics marketing or customer insights. Let them trigger when somebody came into their drop-in center and logged into the Wi-Fi. And by logging into the Wi-Fi, it sent them on a journey, it sent them an email about whether they needed further support, and also sent them a 20p off your next coffee voucher in that drop-in center. You can also do things like shopping cart abandonment, that kind of thing as well. Okay. Now, once we've done our journey, I've also got another journey here, which is once that person registers for the event. Okay, so we got when our marketing event registration has been created. So Dave is saying he's coming to our event. We're going to create something called an opportunity record. And I'm going to show you that now. So all of this can be autonomized. You can have one journey which does all of this. I've split it out into two just to keep it a bit simple. But what we've now got is we've created our event, we created our email, we sent the email to Dave. Yeah, Dave has read the email, he's registered for the event. Yeah, and what has that now done? That has created the opportunity record, which, remember from our personas, Jenny was going to now pick up. So if you go to Jenny's persona here, Jenny's going to now log into the CRM system and she's going to see that opportunity. And what she's going to do, she's going to open that opportunity and she's going to nurture that opportunity through its various stages. And then Dave is going to commit to a gift based upon that opportunity. And Dave is going to say, I'm going to give you £1,000, whatever it is. Jenny's then going to create a pledge record to record the agreement and the details around the agreement. And then what Jenny's then going to do is put payment terms on it so we can process the income once it comes in. So we're now at that next stage of engagement. We're into a more in-depth nurturing process that we're looking at now. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my CRM system, this one here. I'm going to log in as Jenny, and I've opened up Dave's record. Now, customer insights can give you little alerts. It can give you little to-do tasks, which will alert Jenny, or you can use dashboards like the ones I showed you, which show new opportunities that are coming in. And if I scroll a little bit further down on my page here, you can see timeline, you can see all the engagement that's been having with Dave. Okay, what we've got is we've got a couple of opportunities here. And the opportunity which was created via our event engagement was this opportunity here. And I'm going to open up the opportunity. An opportunity is a qualified lead. So it's a potential prospect that you're going to be working through to gain an agreement with Dave. And in this scenario, this is what our opportunity looks like. Now, what you'll notice straight away is a couple of things. Number one, you'll notice the graphic along the top with the various stages. Those stages are fully configurable and they're fully interactive if you want to do as well. So in this scenario, my opportunity type, I'll show you on the new one actually. At the moment, I've not selected an opportunity type. If I was to select the major donor philanthropy one, you'll see it's given me stages which you can configure, and each stage has a set of options in there. So this is information you would gather at each stage, and you can set it up so that, for example, if you're doing an anti-money laundering check, you must have done the check and marked it as being complete before you move over to the next stage. And again, as I mentioned, it's fully configurable and you can have automation as you enter and leave a stage, that kind of thing. But if I was to change the opportunity type to legacy, what you'll see, I don't think it's quite working, but what you'll see is you'll see a different business process flow along the top. Okay, I'm going to go back to Dave Parker's record, or back to my opportunity screen. So that's kind of the opportunity along the top. What you'll also notice is this really nice graphic in the middle. So what Jenny wants is a quick view of what Dave Parker is about. And this is another Canvas app which has been embedded in the screen, which gives you summary information about the recent engagement that Dave Parker's been on. So in this scenario, Dave has given us 5 previous donations. This opportunity is on the hot stage. The win ratio is around the 89%, yeah, and the estimated amount of the opportunity is £1,000. And what we're going to do is we're going to progress this opportunity through its nurturing stages, Yeah. Now, before we do that, what you'll notice is various other options in here. So you've got various fields on here, fields which store the registration record for the event that this opportunity was bought in under. So you can report on, event effectiveness for major donor opportunities or philanthropic opportunities being created. You've also got the source campaign. So you know what campaigns are being run and the effectiveness of those campaigns and the peel and packages. What you've also got is you've got the concept of creating a designation. So in this scenario, a designation is what we call your restriction or your non-restriction in your finance system. And I'll show you that very, very quickly, and it can be fully configured. So this is how you'd reconcile the money to finance if you're pushing the income from CRM into your finance system. And in this scenario, I've got what accounting system that code belongs to. I've got the code which reflects your finance system, cost center, department code, fund codes, that kind of stuff. And I've got the breakdown of the cost center and the fund code. And if I go into the fund code, you can then mark the code with various levels, level 1, level 2, and whether it's restricted or unrestricted, that kind of thing. Yeah. So fully configurable to match your chart of accounts. If I go back to my opportunity record, what I am going to do is I'm going to progress through the opportunities. Now, before I do that, you've got various options on here. You can create preferences against the opportunity. You can create yourself reporting plans. So you can say, well, a report to the trustees was due on certain days, and you can allocate those reports out. Yeah. Who is the report responsible to? So Aidan Davis is going to be that person. Yeah. You've also got a stage history, so you can see how long this opportunity's been at what stage, and what activities were generated at that stage. So think of this from a reporting point of view, that if your opportunities are not progressing as quickly as you wanted to, and you can say, well, actually, a lot of our opportunities are getting stuck at the qualify stage, and there are a lot of letters and emails going out, then we can go in and do something about that to make it move a bit more fluidly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just flick through this very, very quickly. Okay, I'm going to move from stage to stage. And as you can see, it's really nice. You can go backwards in a stage. You can report off each one of those stages and give me a list of opportunities based upon the stage name, that kind of thing. And I'm going to get to the agreement stage. Okay, so in this scenario, I have to have done my due diligence, and I have had to have done my research, and I would have had to have done my money laundering checks before I can move it to the next stage. Okay, and I'm going to get to the agreement stage. Okay, and once I'm in the agreement stage, Dave Parker has agreed to give my charity that £1,000. And that agreement is controlled by something called a donor commitment record. And the donor commitment record is instigated by marking the opportunity as committed. That's basically you saying you've got a commitment on this prospect for this piece of income. And I'm going to mark it as being committed. Okay. And what the system will now do is allow us to create something called a donor commitment record, aka this is the pledge. Okay, so I'm going to click on the little icon here. I'm going to create my donor commitment record, and hopefully within a few minutes, it shall go away and say it has created my donor commitment record. And there it is there. So I've nurtured my opportunity through. You could even go a stage before the opportunity and create lead records for people visiting your website, that kind of stuff. And customer insights will let you draw all of that out into a pipelined phase like this, and then you would convert that lead into an opportunity. But the opportunity is the start of that tangible nurturing. Okay. Now that I've got my commitment, I can win the opportunity as won or lost. If Dave Park says sorry, not going to give you that income anymore, I've had a rough year, that kind of thing, or mark it as one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my commitment record. I'm going to go into my commitment record, and what it has given me certain demographic. It has carried over from the opportunity. So we know the commitment or the pledge record, as it were, belongs to Dave Parker. It's also for £1,000. We know what date this opportunity was for. We know what campaign it's bought for. We know what income code that this opportunity's income needs to be coded against. And we've also got what appeal package. If you wanted to soft credit stuff, you'd use the related constituent. If this was coming in memory of something, or it was legacy, you could select the tribute or the in tribute fund. Okay. Now, what you could do at this point is Dave has given you that commitment to give you this piece of income. And what you can now do is you can click on the process button. It will create you a donation for the £1,000. But sometimes you need a more granular way of managing how this piece of income is going to be given to you. In particular, the payment terms that surround it. So what it could be is that £1,000 may come in a single installment, or it could come in a multiple installments kind of plan for you. And the way you do that, and again, all of this is out the box. Opportunities out the box just needs a little bit of configuring. What you saw on the screen with reporting plans, stage history, all out of the box. The setting up committed, coming to this stage, I've not touched any of this. It is as it is out the box. What I'm now going to do out the box is I'm going to create something called a payment schedule. And with the payment schedule, what this will now let me do is it will let me build some payment terms. Now, the payment schedule record in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Cloud for Nonprofit is used for payment terms on income such as this, but it's also used on payment terms for things like direct debits. Okay, so what we're going to do in this scenario is our gift term, we're not going to select recurring donation because that's our regular gift direct debit. I'll show you that in breakout session 2. Okay, but what we'll do is we're going to click on pledge schedule. And what this will now bring through is it has brought through the appeal, the package, the amount. It has blanked out the designation because it thinks at this point you should reselect it. Okay, so the designation is how you will code this income. So I'm reselecting my designation and the channel that this income may come in. So we're expecting this income to come in online. Yeah. Now what we are now going to do is we're going to spread this income over a period of time. So starting from today, I'm going to spread this income. This £1,000 is going to be paid in 4 annual installments. So every year we will get an installment for that £1,000. And once I've set this up, I'm going to click on the process button. And what the system will do is down here, it has created me 4 allocations for the £250. Yeah. Now, one of the things it doesn't do for the purpose of transparency is it doesn't let you say, well, give me 3 lots or give me 2 lots of 250, then the other 2 lots 100 and 400. Doesn't let you configure what each installment needs to look like. Yeah. It just splits it equally for you. Yeah, but it's a good starting point, and you can go in there and you can change the installment amounts, that kind of thing. Now that we've got our installments, we can either click on the charge now if the payment all comes in one go, or more than likely we're going to go into each installment as it's been created. Okay, it's created as another pledge record just for that £250. And what we are now going to do is click on the process button. So we've got to that point, we've had the online payment come in, and what we now done is clicked on the process that particular pledge button, and it has taken us to the transaction or the income record for you. Yeah, and what we can now do is fill in the income. How is this going to be paid? It's coming in via the bank. What is the amount? What is the designation code against the amount? Unrestricted. We could recode the appeal and package to this. Package being, the direct communication that went out. And what I'm now going to do is click on the process button. Now, if you have a payment provider hooked into this at this point, like Stripe credit cards, Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit has a Stripe integration. It will let you go in and it will make that payment to Stripe and come back and saying it's been paid. In this scenario, I'm keeping it nice and simple. I'm just clicking on the process button to say that the money's hit the bank. And what we've now got is our income record is linked to that pledge and it has been marked as completed, which means we've got the piece of income. Now, if I was to go back to my donor commitment record, okay, what we've now got is we've got the amount, we've got the income linked to that amount as well. So it's saying that this particular installment has had this piece of cash come in or check or whatever it is. I'm going to click on the back button now. I'm going back to my payment schedule. And what you will notice is if I come back here, you will notice now, if I just stretch some of these out so you can see, that the amount balance for that particular installment, yeah, has now gone to 0 because it's been paid, and the amount paid is 250. Yeah, and if we go a bit even further down, you can have demographics on your main amount. It's not quite updated, it does it every so often, but what you can do is it will deduct and say what the remaining amount is on the overall pledge that you've got. Okay, so that is how it works out of the box, and that's kind of the whole nurturing journey. Now, somebody's asked a question here: is there further integration possibilities with financial management packages such as Sage 50? The answer to that is yes, there is. Out of the box, there isn't. What you would use is, if I go back to my payment schedules, what you would do, and I'll show you a little bit about this in the next breakout session. If I go back to my transaction record, if I go back to my transaction record on here, okay, what you've got is you've got something called a designation credit. Now notice how our primary designation is unrestricted. That means any income by default code against that code. And if I click on designations, what you'll see is the whole £250 has been coded against the unrestricted fund. Okay, now if I show you a little bit more in terms of those designation credits, so I'll show you the data behind that nice UI. If I open up the designation credit, what you will notice is you've got your credit, you've got what code it belongs to, and you've got your posted date. So in terms of that integration, it's fairly straightforward. You'd run like a nightly or weekly journal from Dynamics, which says, give me a list of designation credits where the posted date is equal to null. You'd extract those out and then you'd integrate those into Sage 50. How that integration looks like is entirely up to you. I've worked with clients who want a direct integration into things like Business Central, and I've worked with clients who said, just give us the export file and we'll import it ourselves and mark it as being posted. But once you've done the extraction, that date there is marked as posted to tell you that this piece of income has made its way to the finance system now. Yeah, and that's how you do it. So out the box, it gives you the tools and the data structure. We then come in at Kerv and we fill in the blocks for you and build that integration out. And you can use low code methods such as Power Automate to do that for you. Yeah. So that's kind of my demo of the whole engagement. So we kind of, there was a lot to it. We kind of started with Dave's record. We then created an event. We then created an email. We invited Dave to our event, which Dave then registered for. Once he's registered for the event, we then created an opportunity record for Jenny, who is our major donor member. And what she then did was she then guided that nurturing process through that major donor opportunity until we got the commitment from Dave. We then created the donor commitment record before then creating payment terms in terms of a payment schedule and then processing that income. Yeah, so it's really, really comprehensive. Yeah, there's a couple of bits to that. Cloud for Nonprofit gives you the core. The marketing element comes via Insights, but you could go with something other than Insights if you wish. But the whole nurturing process, that 360 view of the supporter, the engagement pipeline, getting the commitment, management of the pledge, creating the transaction, and then having something at the end for reconciliation into finance was all out of the box, and I did not touch that at all. So that's what you get out of the box. Any questions before I let you all go?
Hey, Mandy, whilst people are thinking if they want to ask questions in the chat, could you pop up the slides in
I will do so.
In PowerPoint Live mode if we can, so that the links become live. So maybe on this one, so that there are a bunch of resources. So if you could go back to the resources slide, Mandeep, that'd be great. And great session, by the way. You covered a ton of ground and incredibly brave with the demos. So we will be sharing the content for everybody that's attended for all of the sessions and also the recordings. If anybody wants to click on any of the links, please do so. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we'd call out. In particular, please join the non-profit community. Please give us your feedback, and that would be awesome, but maybe wait until the end of the second session for that. If you wouldn't mind, Mandy, because I don't think there are additional questions, if you could skip to the next slide. So you'll remember that Jason said we would pop up at the end of session 1, the second breakout. So I know it's a long time since folks have registered, but here are the additional sessions for session 2. The end of session 2, that's where today's webinar will conclude. So please select the webinar that you wish to go to. That will exit you from this meeting room and take you to the next one. Should you wish to stay with Mandeep and Kerv, then it will be session 3. Otherwise, jump to the one that you are most interested in. And thank you again for your attendance. And thank you again to Kerv, Mandeep, Ollie, and Trish for supporting this event.